So, welcome to the first edition of the new year of MindPrime Podcast. And today we're going to talk about something. Seems everyone's saying habits for the new year. How about you improve your sleep? See, sleep is one of the basic human needs, but we often overlook it. So, today I'm so excited to have a wonderful guest on today who's going to talk to us all about sleep and why it's important. So, welcome to the show, Carolina. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So I will have probably a lot of questions for you, but I
Huh?
just wanted to first to ask you a bit about your journey and why sleep was so important for you to get involved in.
Yeah. My background is in nutrition, so I'm an naturopathic nutrition, which is the holistic side of nutrition. And when you go through this route, you understand the body as a whole. Like it's not just like one little piece, like you can't. And then I also trained in health coaching, and health coaching made a lot of sense to me because that's it. You can't. My experience as a nutritionist, to me, it was a little bit frustrating because you just give the person a diet and off you go, and it's just like people don't know what to do with that. Like okay, they can, but like when you do the coaching itself, like the health coaching, you're integrating all the parts that you have to change because it's never like one thing, right? You have to, it's a balance, is that you have to, there's so many areas of our life that needs to be in alignment for us to be like completely healthy and happy. So like you not necessarily happy, but like healthy.
Yeah.
So, then I started going through this route. And then when COVID hit,
Oh.
I really saw like how people were suffering with sleep because of the uncertainty, because of how like everything was going, like nobody
The
knew
routine
anything.
was just gone.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
so much anxiety, like lots of people lost their jobs. That was like businesses crashing. Like it was really hard for everyone, I
Yeah.
guess. Like the
Even
fear
I
of not
now,
knowing, the fear of not knowing what it was,
yeah,
to begin with and everything. And I've never suffered from chronic insomnia, let's say. I've had spouts of insomnia, which is normal. Everyone goes through them throughout life. If you have like any difficult emotional situation, it's very common for your sleep to suffer,
yes.
right? And and
Yeah.
and it's life. Like we have to learn how to deal with these things and understand that sleep is a natural thing. Every being, live being sleeps.
Yeah,
So
we should.
it must, but like, I mean, biologically, like this is something that happens to all the beings and the live beings. So you kind of like, it must be important, right? If
Yeah,
everybody does it, like why evolution didn't get rid of it if it wasn't important?
exactly.
Because that's the job of evolution. So I, I had a few friends that I used to help a lot. And one of my friends, he used to work with war and these kind of things. Like he used to, it was basically like security for in war places. So it
Yeah.
was like really challenging, and he had a lot of problems with sleep.
Yeah.
And in helping him just as a friend, like I wasn't even doing anything, just giving him tips and everything, and so many things he could improve. And then he said, you know what, like you should be working with this because
Yeah.
like it makes sense, like you know so much, and like it's just because I'm so interested in neuroscience in the brain
Me too. Yeah.
and how the brain, like the human body is just, to me, is just fascinating. Like it doesn't make a mistake. Nature is just awesome. Everything works for a reason, everything has its function.
It's crazy about how much the body can actually do.
The
It
body, to be
fascinating.
honest, like if you think about it, how much we mistreat our body. Like
Yes.
it's always trying to keep you alive and is always trying to keeping you well, and it's
Yeah.
like, and is there fighting. Like you give like lots of poison to it, and then it's just like, yeah,
And it's
okay,
still like,
I
I'm
understand
gonna
it, but I'm gonna put up with it. But there's only so much, you can take. And then I think that if you really value your life and if you value yourself, I think that you should look after
yeah,
it, and sleep is the foundation of health.
it really is. I wanted to tell you something about me.
Yeah.
Many like years ago, I was suffering with PTSD, which is a bit
Wow.
similar after an attack, which was a bit like how you're talking about your friend, how he saw things and was in situations and it kept me awake every night. and my mental health was so bad, and I couldn't find, well, I didn't have time because I went to the doctors finally, and
Mhm.
they said to me, "Oh, 6 months on the waiting list."
Yeah.
So in the
Begin
meantime,
with.
yeah. So in the meantime, I started looking for ways to help myself.
Yeah.
And I found hypnosis, which
Hmm.
I did the first session and I slept that night. And I
Hmm.
tell you how much my life changed from just sleep alone. And
Yeah.
it's something every time I work with a client now in coaching, and stuff, it's my first thing. I go to their needs. I go, "What, how are you sleeping?"
Yeah.
Straight away, because it really affects your mind.
It affects everything. It,
Hmm.
it literally affects every single system in the body for positive or for negative. It is basically is the what I found in my studies and all this time is that is the foundation of health. So sleep is I mean, everything is connected, right? You have
Yeah.
nutrition, you have your mind, like your emotions and all of that. You have exercise, which is your physical movement, and you have obviously food, nutrition, and
Yeah.
sleep. Like that's it. And sleep is, I thought it was a pillar, but it's not the pillar, it's a foundation where the
Foundation.
other pillars are built on.
Yes.
And this is how it functions. If you don't, everybody knows that if you don't sleep enough, like you feel sluggish the next day, you don't have the energy, like you can't think properly, you can't make decisions properly, and it's all scientifically proven.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and we all know. And but I guess like nowadays as well, like there's a lot of pressure and like how our society is, and there's like,
Yeah.
I think it's changing, but the grind mentality of, the grind, grind,
Yes.
grind, grind, and it's beautiful. The less you sleep, oh, you're amazing, and you pray,
Yeah.
and I
I
think
wanted
it's
to ask you about
changing.
this actually, because in Robin Sharma's book, and they have this 5 a.m. habit, and where they
Mhm.
recommend everyone wakes up really early, super early before everybody else, well, all your competition. And I really don't like this because I believe that it is really bad for your mental health to be up so early. And I also believe that you should get up like right, try to rise with the sun. I know
Yeah.
it sounds
I
weird,
think
but
it's I think it's really is an individual thing. We're all different. We have a thing called our chronotype,
Mhm.
which is our genetic predisposition of being a morning person, an evening person, somewhere in between,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
If you are a morning person, like they say, a morning lark, then 5 o'clock club is right up your street. This is for you. You go for it. Like this is, you're not gonna feel any better than doing that, right? But if you are a morning, like
Oh,
if you are a night owl, this is gonna
it,
destroy you.
it does. It's destroyed many
And
people I've worked with,
yeah,
especially high achieving people who want to
yeah,
achieve a lot and they want to be this peak performance and they try all these techniques and it is out of alignment. So it
yeah.
doesn't really, and
But at
it is
least,
culture.
I guess like I think the main thing that I like is at least some people try. And I think this is the main thing that I
Yeah.
work with people with. Like you are unique. Only you can know what works for you. I'm the expert. I'm gonna give you guidance. But if you don't try and if you don't experiment with yourself, we never know. Like I don't have a magic ball. Like I can just like, crystal ball that I can just find out what works for you. We're all different. And it would be very dishonest of me saying coming to you and say, look, I can help you 100%. Everything I'm going to tell you is going to work because I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. Nobody knows, and the only way to find out is experimenting, is testing, and obviously, with professionals, you have that knowledge, so it's easier to navigate, right? And
Yeah.
then to understand what's going on. And I
Mhm.
think that's why, and I know that coaching is very such a misjudged word.
Yes.
There's a lot of prejudice with it,
Yeah.
but I think it's really helpful. I know I'm biased because I am a coach,
Yeah.
and
But I had a
I
coach,
think,
and even though I was a coach, I have a coach.
yeah, exactly.
So
I've had many different coaches, and
I've
I
had a
think
few, yeah.
I think it's just I think the main part of the coaching stuff is like the accountability, right? Like is
Yeah.
having someone
It's
that you
having
hold
someone to,
accountable.
you're going to meet them that week, and then you want to have something good to say.
Yeah. It's just really, to me, is a difference of actually making the change that you want and not making it.
Yeah.
Unless you can really hone in your discipline and you can really, go for it. Yeah, and then and for pick, like you said, the performers with the high performers that
Yeah.
really want is a very it's crazy because they give up their sleep to chase performance and to achieve more. But what happens is actually the opposite
Yes.
because they make a lot more mistakes,
Hmm.
and you're just like you can't think as clearly
The
and make
focus
the
is
right
not
decision.
there, you know.
It's just going to take longer for you to achieve the same thing you would achieve if you had like a full night's sleep. So I think like I work with lots of like companies and CEOs and people like this that just like what you have to do is focus on your sleep. Because
Yeah.
once you are well rested, you can achieve the same task in half the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I've
You
truly
know,
think that.
so it is
Did want to talk to you about what do you think is the minimum amount of sleep you should get? Because there's so much controversial about this, about the 8 hours, there's less than, make sure it's more than five. And some people are so confused about this. Is
yeah.
it specifically what your body needs, or is it a set time?
No, it's what your body needs, and everybody's different. I think there is a minimum of 7 hours. I don't think anybody should be sleeping less than 7 hours for optimal. The thing with sleep is that people don't understand. The consequences come at an early age. Like it comes later. You're not going to see them now. You will see some obviously you feel that the lack of like the sluggishness and you're tired and you see that like in the fog brain
Yeah.
fog and all of those things that you experience on a daily basis, but like the real consequences to your health is going to come later. Then you're going to get lots of especially cognitive problems like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, you know,
Wow.
any cognitive condition is related to sleep in some way.
That
I'm
is
not saying that
incredible.
sleep is the cause of it,
But
but
it doesn't help.
it is involved,
And what
and
about life expectancy? Because it's something that I
as
always talk
well. Yeah,
about. If you have
yeah,
slept
100%
less,
is actually scientifically proven that if
there
you
you
sleep
go.
too little in your life will be shorter.
Wow, see, you're not getting actually more time back. See, people
No,
think that they're getting more
At,
time in
at
their life.
all, at all.
Mm.
Also, like increases your chances of having cardiovascular conditions, increases like your immune system gets weakened, your hormones get all over the place. Like it's
Mm.
actually connected with everything, with everything. You're more prone to get this like cold and flus and like everything. If you're getting any vaccine, it's not going to be as effective if you're not sleeping than if you are sleeping when you take the shot. Like anything that you do you have to is related to sleep
Wow.
and impacts every single system. So you have to is one of the things that you have to kind of prioritize, and is the first thing that everybody's willing to give up.
Yes, I know. They're actually willing to give up their life if you think about it.
Yeah,
So what do you reckon would be like some tips that you can give people to make sure that they get that amount of sleep, or what they could do in their environment? Is there anything that you can recommend that
there's so
would really
many
help?
things that you can do. So because I come from a holistic point of view and I'm very in line with nature, I think the first thing, all the things that most of the things that you can do is everything they're free. You don't have to spend any money,
Yes,
and you can just do it,
I like
right?
that.
So first thing, as soon as you wake up, before you go on your phone, before you do anything, you go outside.
Go
Right.
outside. So first thing in the
Outside.
morning, just walk out the front door. No
Right.
coffee, no tea.
Nothing.
Just to
Water,
get the
have a glass
bird.
of water, very important. First thing, glass of water, light, daylight. I know we in the UK, it's not very
Yeah,
sunny,
yeah,
especially now, like it's really gray and it's getting light really late. Like
yes.
those days, the
So
sun is
much
coming up like
little daylight.
8, yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes out and it leaves again at 3:30.
I
So
know.
you have
I
to
was
wait
working the other
again and
day
then
and I
come.
was I was so angry because I wanted to get out for a walk. And then
Yeah.
I looked at it and it was almost dark and I was just like, so I literally ran to the woods and quickly ran around it for like 5 minutes before they shut it.
Yeah. So I think that like light in the winter, if people can get like light therapy, like these lux lights that you can get, that is very bright, is very they're specifically for that. They're also helpful in the winter if you're in place that you cannot get any light at all. And but the first thing that's a glass of water
Water
and
outside.
outside. I would delay the caffeine
How
hour and
long
a half,
would you go outside
hour,
for?
15 minutes.
Okay.
Depends how bright it is. If it's super bright and sunny, I would 10, 15 minutes. If it's not, stay a little longer if you can. But any light that you see as soon as you wake up is the best because that's what's signaling your body that is
Wake up.
is daylight, you're syncing your body with your circadian rhythm. So this
Okay.
is what controls your sleep. It's your circadian. Your circadian rhythm is controlling almost everything.
Okay.
So you have to be in line with it. And most people nowadays in our society, everybody's suffering from social jet lag, which
Yeah.
is everybody's clocks, biological clocks, is all over the place because we sleep at any time. We change our routine is hectic. Every day we go to sleep and wake up at different times.
Yeah.
We eat
Especially Christmas
at
time
different
and
times.
January when it's in that
Yeah,
in between of not going back
yeah,
to work and everyone's sleeping different times, getting up different times. So
yeah.
right now, a lot of people are in that.
Yeah. So what the body loves regularity and it loves routine and it loves you doing the same things at the same time because every single organ in our body has a clock. And all these clocks, they're activated in our body, they're activated by the time that you eat. So another thing,
So what about a few people who skip breakfast?
yeah, that's a little bit bad because they are not signaling their bodies that it kind of is a cue, one of the cues. So there's three main cues that you use for like aligning your body, which is light,
Right.
food,
Food.
and exercise, movement.
Okay.
Right? So those three things. So if you like wake up first thing, light,
Yeah.
then if you can go for a walk or something, and then or have breakfast and then go for a walk,
Yeah.
perfect. You know, or
Okay.
do some sort of movement. And if you can do that, is the perfect thing in the morning. Like it doesn't have to be like I'll work out, rah, rah. No, just like a little walk. Like doesn't have to be long. Any or like even a stretch, just this little stretch. You know, just to awaken your
Dance around the
body.
house.
Yeah, it's just like anything really, just movement. Your body needs movement
Okay.
and then you start a day and then you can have I I would delay caffeine like an hour and a half
Hour and a half. See,
before
I'm really
waking up.
bad at caffeine. I'm pro very addicted to it.
Yeah.
So I try to have it at least half an hour after I wake up. So because I used to have
Uh-huh.
it straight away. So
Yeah.
now I wait for a bit little longer.
The only reason is because of your cortisol. So when we wake up, the cortisol goes up to wake us up, cortisol
Mhm.
and adrenaline.
Yeah.
And if you have your coffee the first thing in the morning, then you're kind of wasting the boost that you want caffeine to give you because your cortisol and adrenaline are already high. You're already kind of like
Okay.
going
Yeah,
to
that
be
makes
up.
sense.
So
Mhm.
like you're just a waste of caffeine boost.
I'm
You
wasting
know,
my coffee.
if you know what I mean? Because then if you wait and then if you have your coffee then you get the caffeine boost that you want, and then it's nice. But I understand that it's really hard to do because lots
Yeah,
of people like they wake up and the first thing is that little nice. I am a weirdo. I drink warm bone broth every morning
I
as soon as
do.
I wake up. Yeah, because it's just so good for your gut.
I got into
And
cacao lately. Cacao.
cacao is good
Uh,
as well.
I
It's a
tried to do
collagen.
that. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
really started to enjoy that.
Yeah,
It's been quite
it's
nice.
nice. It's nice. Yeah, anything like it doesn't, and I think that your environment ideally is also light again. So what you want exposure to light as much as you can during the day, and you want to limit light as much as you can in the night.
Okay.
So kind of mimic the day. So as you see the sun is setting, you go like lowering the lights
Close
in your
curtains.
house as well. Also,
Okay.
like ideally, don't have any overhead lights on in your house because that's signaling the light is coming from here, the sun is there.
Well, that's a good tip because I always have the lights on and I've got lamps like
Yeah,
everywhere, but I
yeah,
probably have them all on at the same time because I
yeah,
really like light. I have light
yeah.
everywhere. So
Well,
I
you can
probably
like
need to
just use
start
very
switching
warm
them.
lights, like very like orangey, reddish lights and like low light, and ideally like either coming from the ground or on the sides instead of from.
Okay, so turn off the
I
big
think that,
lights before,
yeah,
how long
turn off
before bed?
I
Just
mean,
like
I
thumbs down.
couple of hours before ideally like you want to kind of go following this. I know now in winter it's harder because 4 o'clock is already
Yeah, we're in the
dark,
dark
so
for
you're not
about
going to
10
be like
hours.
coming dark with like at 4 o'clock, but I would say like I don't know what time you go to bed, like say you go to bed 10 p.m.
Yeah,
I would like half seven starts after dinner starts having
but
like
slow
putting the
down.
lights down, just really creating the ambience of calmness and like inviteness for sleep. And I
Hmm.
think that's a very important part as well. It's just like having a winding down sort of little time before bed, like signaling to your body that it's actually time to sleep. Like don't be on your phones, like the thing with it's not just the lights, it's just all the stimulation that your body's getting while you're watching whatever on your phone, and it's just like do something else that you really enjoy. Like, I don't know, pick up an old habit that you used to do that you don't do it anymore. Like anything that rocks your boat, anything that makes you calm, drawing, coloring, knitting, listening to music,
Yeah.
mindfulness, meditation, yoga,
Yeah, a book
whatever,
actually helps a lot of
reading
people
books.
before
Yeah,
sleep.
reading books and all of those things. People always ask, "Oh, is a Kindle okay?" Yeah, the Kindle like doesn't have any light in it. It's
But
fine. Like,
I actually like actual books.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm old school with that. I
Yeah.
love books. I'm reading really
I
big on
tried
books.
to do it like that, but it just doesn't fit. I like the book. I like to fold the page. I like to put it in my bag wherever I go.
Yeah,
It just
yeah,
goes.
I agree.
So what about when you get to just before bed? Is there anything you can do then? Like we have the old tales about drinking warm milk. And then the other day
Um,
I was watching TV program and they said the
uh-huh.
trend for this year is cocktails before bed. Not alcoholic, but
Yeah,
sleep
the
cocktails.
cherry tart one.
Yeah, did you see it?
Yeah, I did see that. I think all of this, it's really like trends and things. I think you should do whatever makes you feel comfortable and warm. Like if drinking a cup of tea just before bed makes your body, makes you signal to you, makes you feel very comfortable and cozy and makes you feel good about going to sleep, do that.
Yeah.
I think it's all about what works for you. Like there's not one thing, oh, is it good, is it bad? It'll be good for some people.
Hmm.
It won't work for a lot of people. And it's all about what makes you feel good. And I think it's all about because sleep is a natural thing. If you think about it, people who sleep well, they don't do anything. They just go to sleep. They just
Yeah.
go to bed, close their eye, put their head on the pillow, close their eyes, and go to sleep,
The
right?
lucky people, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think there's that. I think that we have unlearned how to sleep, and it's just like a normal procedure. Like if your body's tired, basically how sleep works is this. We have this chemical in our body called adenosine, right? And
Mhm.
adenosine starts building up in your body as soon as you wake up. So it keeps building up, building up, building up. The more you awake, the more adenosine you have. This is called the sleep pressure. So the more pressure is building up, the sleepier you get. And
Okay.
then when you go to sleep, melatonin comes and
Interesting.
washes adenosine out and it stays up during the night,
Mhm.
right? And then the same cycle happens all over again. Now, if your body, if everything is working right and you haven't been too, there's so many things like being too sedentary, eating too much sugar, eating bad food, eating too much carbs makes you super lethargic.
Yes.
Especially at lunch, I would like breakfast and lunch. I would not eat any simple carbs because it just makes you sluggish. Have a high protein, high fat breakfast and high protein, high fat lunch. That makes you awake, makes you up.
Yeah.
At night, when you want to go to sleep and you want to
Your
be sluggish,
pasta.
you have your pasta. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Makes sense.
yeah, just like things that make like work to help yourself, not against yourself.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with the resolutions. Oh, everybody's doing all these resolutions, and then by February, statistics say they all failed because people make it so hard on themselves.
Yeah, it's never really an easy one. It's always
They
like
make
the
it too
most
hard.
drastic.
People make it too hard. You have to make it easy. Make it easy for yourself. Stacking
Yeah.
habits is an easy way to do.
Yes.
Say like you're gonna brush your teeth, then you want to add flossing. You're already going to brush your teeth, now you floss a little bit. Now you're already flossing, you do a skincare routine. You're
Mhm.
already there, right? So you're
Yes.
building up. Just make stuff easy. Don't make things that
Hard.
hard for you. And then
That.
you need to find things that you enjoy doing
Yeah.
because you don't want to be battling with yourself. Like you don't want to be like, oh, this is a chore, like you
Yeah.
need to find things
Just
that you enjoy doing that you can incorporate into your routine
totally.
and things
I
that,
did want to ask you about this melatonin stuff because I have children who are on the spectrum, and I work. I have a charity as well as this
Mhm,
that I do, and we help people with invisible disabilities and a
mhm.
lot of the autism and ADHD. They find
Yeah.
it really hard to switch off their mind. It's like they're trying to sleep, and a lot of the time it's the trying part, and
Yeah.
their mind just doesn't stop, or they're not comfortable. So, what would you recommend for these people to do?
I think this is a very tricky one because I'm not too familiar with any of these conditions like too much in depth, but I
It's only
know that
because you mentioned melatonin because I used to give that to my
yeah.
son to help him sleep years ago.
Yeah, I think melatonin is helpful in those situations. I think when you have a condition that you can't produce, that sleep is affected, that, I don't think people nowadays just take melatonin as a supplement, and it's not, it's a
That's
hormone. Like,
crazy.
you shouldn't be taking, and people take really high doses, and like, no, like you don't need all those high doses.
Wow.
Sometimes like 1 mg works. Like you don't need a lot. And you like if you have jet lag, if you're suffering for going through bereavement or something that is like really hard for you and you're going into a bout of insomnia, fair enough. Take melatonin. If it's going to help you sleep, go
Yeah.
for it. But I don't think people should take that on a regular
Yeah, it's
basis.
very like sleeping tablets as well.
Yeah,
Um,
same. They, they,
yeah,
they they work for acute circumstances, not
yeah.
for
I
like
tried it at the time
chronic
when I had
conditions.
insomnia where I couldn't sleep. I tried to do it for like 3 days to get myself back into the clock,
Yeah,
but it didn't actually work. So
yeah.
what I found did work a lot
Mhm.
was journaling. Helped
Yes.
me a lot.
Yeah.
Tracking the sleep things. So I
Hmm.
actually did this with a lady who in therapy recently, and she couldn't sleep and she keeps getting insomnia. So I told her to write a journal about just not like a fancy journal to anything, just
Yeah.
write when she's sleeping, why, what day she's not. And when she looked back through it, she found that she wouldn't sleep on days her husband wasn't there. And she would when he
Ah.
wasn't. So sometimes I think a lot of the time it could be the actual belief system
Yeah,
about
100%. It's 100%. Your belief system plays like a huge part in your sleep because there's a lot of things that happens at some point in our lives. This is very common with parents
yeah.
because people after they have kids, they just believe that they will never go back to sleeping well. That's the belief they see, this is who I am now.
Yeah.
And once you have something as your identity, then there's no changing.
Oh.
Your body's going to do everything that's congruent with that identity.
Mhm.
So what you have to
Maybe
do,
that story for
yeah.
life.
So what you have to do is that, man, we are all capable of sleeping well. Obviously, unless you have a condition, unless you have something that is out of the norm. But if you're healthy, if everything is well, if there's nothing that is there that is causing that thing, then
Mhm.
it's very much like you're emotional. It
Yeah.
is your belief system, what you believe about your sleep, what you create. Sometimes it's not even like it's not conscious. It's just like you just kind of
It
something
was she didn't
happens.
even realize that that was a
Yeah.
habit that
I
she didn't
had one
realize
of my
it. Oh,
clients, it was the same. I had a client, he had a in his childhood, his house had been burglared a few times.
okay, yeah.
And he until now, like he's on
Hyper
over
aware.
40.
Yeah.
Now he lives in a different country
Hmm.
and he still can't sleep at night. And we had one conversation was all it took for him
To think
find
work
out
it
that
out.
this to
Yeah.
find out that this is what was causing it. It was because of in his childhood he had this
Yeah.
burglary
It's
so often
amazing.
in his house that now made him. And then from going to sleep every night he would sleep maximum 4 hours a night. On that first night, he went from 4 to 7 hours.
Amazing. That's
It was
incredible
like,
story.
what? And it's all sometimes it's all it takes is
Yeah,
you're
because the
taking charge
lady
of
who
your
even
emotions.
who the lady with me, she didn't realize it was from her childhood too. So when she had her
Yeah.
dad, who wasn't there when she was a kid, that she didn't feel safe in the house. So when her husband became a dad and went out, it's almost and she didn't realize it. She kept tried everything. She tried to different routines. She tried everything,
Mhm.
medication, and it wasn't just as simple as writing it
It's all
down. Like we
inside
track
us.
diets, but we don't
Yeah.
want to track. We track what we eat, but why not
Yeah.
track what you do when you sleep? And
Yeah.
when you sleep, because it could just be so simple
Yeah.
that you've overlooked.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I created the Primordial Sleep Lab, which is
Yeah.
a way of tracking your sleep, making yourself a little sleep lab in your room.
Oh, is that what it is?
And
Because I was going to
yeah,
ask you about that next, about how
yeah.
what it was.
So it is what it is. So it's very easy. Like basically you have a journal which you're
Mhm.
tracking manually everything that's going on, like what time you it's a sleep journal. So you go like what time you went to bed, what time did you wake up, how long did you
How
sleep,
you felt the next
did you
day?
wake, how you felt the next day, how did you wake up at any time in the night, and all those things. And then you have that, and then you have like a sleep tracker of some sort, just to get you like some extra data, just because it's helpful.
Yeah.
And then you have a baby monitor, which is filming you. And all of us, everybody sleeps, and nobody ever has seen yourself sleeping. Have you? Nobody has ever
No.
seen yourself sleep. You have no idea what you do through the night. You have no idea how you move, what's happening. And
Oh,
this you have a whole circle, and it's all for you. It's not, nobody else has access, just you. And you just analyze your sleep basically for however long you will want to take the experiment on yourself.
that is ingenious. I can't
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
incredible.
And then you just learn, and then you navigate. What I do in my sleep lab is just I'll help, I help you set up everything. And afterwards we'll just help you interpret the data and like what to do next. So basically this is what I do in the lab. Um,
Is that because sometimes people can wake up really tired and even though they've had 8 hours sleep, but that might be really handy to see like, oh no, you've been moving all night.
yeah. Or
Like,
it's very helpful to find if you have any sleep conditions.
oh, sleep
Like if you
apnea.
have sleep apnea, if you have restless leg syndrome, that many things that you can actually find out in the visual that you have no idea. Especially if you sleep by yourself.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who sleep by themselves and they have no idea if they snore, if they
Yeah, I've heard that when people
anything.
say, I don't know. That's not.
Yeah. So
I
you
didn't know
get
I snored for ages because I
so
was
basically what I helped create was just because this is something that I was doing to myself, and
yeah.
like, now why not help people to do that? And like all of us, like we never seen ourselves sleep ever.
That,
Like no one,
maybe you
right?
don't want to.
Yeah, some people don't want to, but like why wouldn't you want to? Like
Want to now. Speaking to you, making me want to.
yeah, it's just because it's interesting. Like, like what do I do at night? It's like I sometimes I realize I sleep with my fist closed like this for ages. Like why?
You're ready to fight.
Like it's just some like weird things that you can see yourself sometimes, like you wake up and then you don't have a top on or something, like I don't remember taking this clothes off or this your socks or something, and then you can see in the camera, but the thing is nobody has access to this, it's just
It's just for you.
it's
Yeah.
private just for
So what
you.
would people do? Come to you and join? Is it a program? It's like a program that you do with you.
Yeah, so I do like individual group, and yeah, we just try to find out what's going on, and it's just like doing really simple things, that fits around your, like finding out what's actually happening.
Yeah.
My approach is finding the root cause of everything, and
Yeah.
everything has a cause, nothing.
Yes.
And the thing is, people don't realize is that like all the conditions that we have in our body, they're not most of it, like it's not really the condition, it's the symptoms. Your body telling you there's something wrong there. Like for example, we have headaches,
Yeah.
and then people
Pain tells
treat
us, yeah,
headache.
something.
The headache is your body telling there's something not right. So you lack magnesium, there's something wrong, that you go check your head. I don't know, there's something wrong, what could be
It
giving
is.
that? Like let's investigate and find out
That is very
what's
true.
causing
Because if we
those
have
things,
pain, we're going to go to the doctor, right? And say, oh, we
Yeah.
have pain.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, if
also
we're not
like,
sleeping, why don't we go and find out why?
yeah, and I also think that because I come from like a holistic approach, I
Hmm.
think we've, like, our Western medicine has failed us a lot in terms of like saying to us that lots of things were normal when they're not.
Yeah.
Like simple things, like for example, for women,
Mhm.
oh, having lots of PMS symptoms is normal. Having your breast sore is normal.
Yeah.
Having a lot of pain when you have your period is normal. It's not normal. What's happening is that your hormones are out of balance. That's why you're
Yeah.
feeling all those things. Because when you have your hormones are in balance, you'd hardly ever feel anything.
Yes. I've had
You
times like
know?
that when you haven't even felt that you've had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, like I, for example, hardly ever, I used to be on the pill for 15 years straight.
Yeah.
And my periods used to be horrible, really, really painful, really heavy, really
All
long,
too.
everything else,
Mhm.
skin, everything. Stopped. Like now, balancing, when I balanced my hormones, when after a little while they were back. Just I hardly ever feel, so on the first day I feel a little bit, maybe a little bit of colic, a little bit of pain, but
Yeah.
that's it. Like I don't have the mood swings,
Yeah.
and
I
this is
had.
not normal. This is not normal. We've grew up saying that this is normal. Another thing, sorry, it gets me, is that we've learned that burping, farting, this is all normal. It's not normal. If you're farting and burping every
Right.
day, you're
Something.
not digesting something. Something's not right with your gut. Go find out what it is. It's not
That's
normal.
some great
Like
advice.
if you eat sometimes, like obviously there's
Beans
some
or
foods,
something.
beans,
Yeah.
yeah, some
Mhm.
foods they produce gas and it's normal.
Yeah.
Like today I ate beans. Oh, I'm farting. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But every day in
Then there must
every
be
meal,
something.
there's something wrong. It's either your stomach acid, it's something that you're not digesting properly, something that doesn't sit right with you. Because there's that, like we need to pay attention, like I think our body gives us all the clues that we need,
If
and
we
we've got to
listen.
pay attention.
Yeah. And I do feel the doctors and do more prevention, not prevention, sorry, cure more
Yeah.
prevention when we can, because I really believe in the power of all three being
Mhm.
aligned, like your body, your mind, your health, all of it together, which is what you were saying about like holistic, like whole body approach,
Yeah.
which I think that the doctors are lacking at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, no, of course. And also, like, I don't want to also sit
Not
here
all
and
of
say,
them,
oh, they're
obviously,
horrible and they don't work. No,
just what they've
they
been taught
they
to
have
do.
their place. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think medicine has advanced and helped so many people. Like, I don't think we would be anywhere if we didn't have them,
Yes.
right? I think
Yeah.
it had the
We
place,
need it.
and
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad, but I'm just saying that we should not rely on them so much. I think we should take our own health into our own hands, take responsibility for our own selves.
Mhm.
Like ultimately, right? Nobody's forcing anything that we are doing. We are choosing to buy things. We are choosing to consume things. We are
Yeah.
choosing the way we live. We choose is our choice, right? We have the power to do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Sense. Like I think especially 2024, I know there's a lot of things with is it quite a bit? I think we are all the best place we have ever been in the world. If you think of historically,
I think of health, yes. I think that we're all starting to wake up a bit and take
I
a bit
mean,
more
like it's just
responsibility.
like just take responsibility for yourself. Like stop blaming everybody else. It's
Yeah.
you, it's your choice. You decide. Nobody else decides for you. You decide if you want to eat this or if you want to eat that, if you want to exercise or if you don't, if you want to drink, if you don't, if you want whatever, you decide.
Yeah.
So make the choice, the best choice that work for
That you
you.
can. I
You
love
know?
that. Thank
Yeah.
you. I did have something that I was going to go back to what we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
About the daytime and what to do in the morning. How about if
Mhm.
you're doing like night shifts or
Yeah.
night different
This is really
pattern?
hard. Yeah, this is really hard. So like what you can do, the only thing you can do is minimize the problems that you have. So let's say um if you can, if you work in a place that's really bright. So basically what you want to do is the same principle. You want to use light as your friend, right?
So pretend it's daylight when it's not.
Yeah, so what you have to do is like if you wanted to be awake at night, then have lots of light. And whenever you don't want to be awake anymore,
Oh,
shut the
you're just
lights.
like the reverse.
The reverse. So for example, if you're leaving work early in the morning that the sun is already out, sunglasses,
Ah,
right? Sunglasses.
yeah,
Also, I want to say in the morning, people in the morning when you wake up, like a normal time, you go to bed at night and you wake up in the morning, you don't want to wear sunglasses in the morning. You
ah.
need the light in your eyes. You need the
In the
light in
summer,
your eyes.
I'm always straight away outside in sunglasses.
No, wear just ideally just in the afternoon you wear
Oh,
sunglasses. In the morning, first hours of the morning that you are out, 10 o'clock is a good time to go out as well because it's the rise of the UV. So like it's amazing to signal your body. Midday, spend as much outside as you can. Even if like you work in an office, if you work in a place that is really cold, get outside. Just go for like a 5 minute walk. Just go
yeah,
for some fresh air. Like just let your body get as much daylight as is possible. And then if you're in the night shift, you have to kind of mimic that with artificial light, right? So
yeah,
what you have to do is like if you wanna the time that you have to be awake, make sure you have lots of light. And by the time that you're finishing your shift, that you want to go home and go get your body ready to sleep, then shut as much light as you
yeah.
can, blackout blinds, everything, earplugs for the noise, so
Oh
you can
yeah.
shut and everything like as much as you can. And I think ideally, I know that shift work sometimes is very irregular. There's not
Yeah,
many
'cause one
people.
day it could
Some
be like
people
late and earlys, and because that's what I do.
yeah, and
I used to
also
work
this
like
is
that.
like it causes such a havoc, but try to keep something consistent if you can. Like find something that you can do that is consistent. I think this helps as well in terms of light or eating or something like that. Like if you can either eat every day at the same time or
Ah,
like
sense
something
to try
like
and keep it aligned.
some sort of routine that you can and just kind of using that to help, I think.
Incredible.
Um, yeah, I think light is the most powerful thing. Light, yeah.
Um,
That would might be my advice. I think the main thing to do.
Thank you for sharing. I just wanted to ask you to let people know how they get in contact with you.
Sure.
What's your unique? website, your emails, because you definitely want to contact her if you're having trouble sleeping.
Yeah. So I'm mainly active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So it's at Carolina Ramuski, Primordial Sleep Lab.
Yep.
I do have an Instagram, Primordial Sleep Lab. I do not have lots of people there because I just kind of started. I'm not
Just
very
do
good
one.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
then there's the
how they can join
website.
on, they can join onto your program anytime?
Yeah, anytime.
Time. Okay.
Um, and yeah, just get in touch. There's the website on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, there's all the contact details there. You can
Yeah.
book an appointment, schedule everything. So basically, Carolina at Primordial Sleep, Primordial, sorry, Carolina at
Yeah.
primordialhealth.co.uk. That's
Perfect.
the email to get in touch.
I found this session so great because you've given me so many ideas to do. I swear I'm thinking in my mind, where's my baby monitor from my old one?
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming. So before you go, I just wanted to ask you, like, if you could leave the listeners like with one thing that they could help them prime their mind for success with sleep, what would it be?
I think regularity. I think
Regularity.
just keeping, ideally, if you can keep the bedtime and the wake time the same, that
Okay.
would be perfect because your body loves that. It knows exactly how much sleep you need. And then if you're giving your body the chance, you're giving the time for it to act, you use this time more effectively. So I think, or if you can at least keep every waking hour the same, this also helps to, like I said before, it's all getting back in rhythm with your circadian rhythm. And think of our ancestors, like our cavemen, like how they slept, they woke and they slept with the sun.
Yeah.
And it's basically thinking about like evolution, how we were primed to evolve and how we are, like how we, it's always been. So that's just trying to get as much in touch with nature and keeping this regularity just for your brain to work at best,
Yeah, that is
Yeah, it
incredible.
really it really boosts your brain. I think it
Yeah.
really gets what you need. So I think
Yeah. And we all need more sleep. We need better quality sleep as well. So really love this conversation. Thank you so much for coming on
no
because
problem. Thank you
I'm
so
going to
much for
try a lot
having
of
me.
your tips and I'm sure I'll be messaging you, telling you.
Amazing. Please
I
do.
will. So everyone contact her because you can see how passionate she is and how incredible she is. So thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for coming on. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate having you here and I hope everyone has a good night's sleep tonight.
Exactly. Yes. Well, everyone, thank you so much for having
You're
me.
welcome. Thank you.